Hi, good morning. Today we are going to start our next session, 6.7 invariant direct sum. Okay. Now consider the direct sum decomposition V equal to direct sum of W1, W2, etc. Wk, where each of the subspace Wi are invariant under the sum linear operator T. You already know V equal to W1 plus etc. plus Wk if only if V equal to sum of W1 etc. Wk and W1, W2 etc. Wk are independent. Here Wi's are here given condition is Wi's are invariant under some linear operator T. And what is actually T? T is a linear transformation from V to V. Then this linear transformation T is actually a map from V to V. T is actually a map from V to V. Each Wi are subspaces of V invariant under T. That means Wi, clearly Wi is contained in V. Okay, so if you restrict this T to Wi, then consider T from Wi to its range. Okay, so this restriction function you can denote this as Ti. Okay, what is the restriction function? Ti, some function, f is a function from A to B, g is a restriction of f, some c is a some k is a subset of A, f restricted to k means g equal to f restricted to k, g is a function from k to b such that g of x is equal to f of x for every x belongs to k. X belongs to k. So here Ti of alpha equal to T of alpha for every alpha belongs to Wi. But Wi is invariant under T. So what about T of Wi? This is contained in Wi. T of Wi is contained in Wi because Wi is invariant under T. Therefore, Ti is actually a map from Wi to Wi. Okay. Then T induces a linear operator Ti on Wi by restriction. Ti is a restriction of T on Wi. That is Ti of alpha equal to T of alpha for every alpha belongs to Wi. So what we get? Ti is a map from Wi to Wi such that Ti of alpha equal to T of alpha for every alpha belongs to Wi. Range is Wi as Wi is invariant under T. Okay. Now let alpha belongs to V. Then there exists a unique vector alpha I belongs to Wi such that alpha equal to alpha 1 plus etc. plus alpha k. How? Because we assume that V equal to direct sum of this one. Therefore, for each alpha belongs to V, you can write a sum of elements in W1 etc. Wk. So alpha you can write like this. Therefore, T alpha is equal to T of this one and this one. Alpha 1, where is alpha 1? Alpha 1 belongs to W1. Therefore, T of alpha 1 is same as T1 of alpha 1. Okay. Therefore, we get this one T1 alpha 1 plus etc. So, thus we get T alpha equal to T1 alpha 1 plus T2 alpha 2 plus etc. plus Tk alpha k. In this situations, we call T as the direct sum of T1, T2 etc. Tk. In this situation, we call T as the direct sum of T1, T2, etc. Tk. Must note that T1 is not a linear operator. These Ti's are not a linear operator on V. These are linear operators on Wi's. Are linear operators on Wi. T2 is a W1. T2 is a linear operator on W2, etc. Tk is a linear operator on W. K. Okay. This T is a linear operator on V and each Ti is a restriction of T to Wi. Okay. Now then we call T as the direct sum of T1, T2, etc. Tk. Now moving to matrix analog of this situation. Here let Bi is a script Bi is an ordered basis for Wi. as V is equal to direct sum of W1 etc. Wk by previous result. If Bi is a basis for Wi, then B1 comma B2 comma etc. Bk is a basis for V. So if you choose Bi is an ordered basis for Wi, then B equal to B1 B2 etc. must be a ordered basis for V. Let A equal to matrix of T related to B, and AI is equal to matrix of Ti restricted to Bi. BI is an ordered basis for Wi, Ti is a linear operator on Wi, and this AI are matrix of Ti related to with respect to the basis Bi. Then A you can write as A1 0 0 etc 0 A2 etc. Okay, where AI this is diagonal A1 A2 etc block matrix. Okay, zeros are again block matrices. This 0 represent block matrix 0, where AI is a di by di matrix where di equal to dimension of Wi, and zeros are symbols for rectangular blocks of scalar zeros of various sizes. In such situation, we call A as the direct sum of the matrix A1, A2, etc. AK. If you can write A like this, then we call A as the direct sum of A1, A2, etc. AK. Now moving to one theorem. Let T be a linear operator on V, and let W1, W2, etc., Wk and E1, E2, etc., Ak as in theorem 9. Theorem 9 is here. Then a necessary and sufficient condition that each subspace Wi be invariant under T is that T commute with each of the projection Ei. Okay. Wi is invariant under T. Wi is invariant under T if T commutes with each of the projection. That is, we have to show that if Wi, if T commutes with, if Ti equal to Eit, then Wi is invariant under T. That is, T of Wi is contained in Wi. Conversely, if Wi is invariant under T, we have to prove that T commutes with each Ei. Okay, these are the conditions in theorem 9. Okay, where Ei's projection and range of Ei is Wi. You must note this condition. Range of Ei is Wi. What's the meaning of that? If you take any alpha belongs to Wi, Ei alpha must belongs to Wi. Because range Ei is a map from Wi to codomain. Ei Wi is equal to W. This is this result. So first we suppose that T commutes with the Ei, and we have to prove Wi is invariant under T. Okay. So suppose T commutes with A. What is the meaning of the T? Ei equal to Eit for every I equal to 1 to etc. Okay. We have to prove Wi is invariant under T. That is, we have to prove T of alpha is an element of Wi for every alpha belongs to Wi. So let alpha belongs to Wi. What is Ei of alpha? As Ei's are projection. How we defined projection alpha. If alpha is equal to alpha 1 plus etc. plus alpha k, then Ei's are defined as goes to ith coordinate. Okay, so Ei of alpha, Ei of alpha is the element in Wi. Here alpha is an element in Wi, therefore Ei alpha is equal to alpha. Okay. Now what is T alpha? T alpha is equal to T Ei alpha. That's equal to T Ei alpha. But T Ei is same as Ei T alpha. Because T Ei equal to Eit. Therefore, this is same as Ei of T alpha. What about this one? This is an element in range of Ei. Okay, but range of EI is in WI. Therefore, T alpha belongs to W. Therefore, T alpha belongs to, that is, alpha belongs to WI implies T alpha belongs to WI. This implies WI is invariant under T. Now, suppose that WI is invariant under T and we have to prove that T commutes with the EI. So, first we assume that T commutes with EI. That is TEI. Sorry, we assume that WI is invariant under T and we have to prove T commutes with EI. Okay, for this we have to prove T EI of alpha equal to EI T alpha for every alpha belongs to B. So you choose some alpha belongs to B and we have to prove this condition. We have to prove this condition. Okay. So by definition, by condition 3 of theorem 9, what about 3? 3 is I equal to this one. Okay. So I equal to this one, I alpha equal to this one, and I alpha is alpha, and which is equal to E1 alpha plus E2 alpha plus etc. plus EK alpha. Now apply T, T alpha equal to T of this one. As T is linear, we can write like this. T E1 alpha, T E2 alpha, etc. T EK alpha. Now, what about EIs? EIs are projection and this linear operator on V and range of EI is equal to WI. What about EI alpha? EI alpha must belongs to WI. Okay. So, but we assume that WI is invariant under T. So, what about T alpha? T alpha must belongs to WI. EI alpha belongs to WI as EIs are linear, range of EI equal to WI. EI alpha must belongs to WI. As WI is invariant under T, T alpha belongs to WI. EI alpha belongs to WI. T EI alpha must belongs to W because T alpha belongs to WI for every alpha belongs to W. EI alpha belongs to WI, therefore T of EI alpha must belongs to WI. And we mark T of EI alpha as beta I. Okay, so beta I belongs to WI and beta I is in range of EI. And again, we have a property if some element belongs to range of if beta belongs to range, then E beta must be equal to beta. So here EIs are projection. Therefore, BI belongs to WI and which is equal to range of EI implies what we get here E for projection. Here we have EI. EI beta I is equal to beta I. Okay. So here we have T EI alpha equal to beta I and beta I is same as EI beta I. So we have this. Okay. So T alpha, what is T alpha? We have T alpha equal to T this one and each T E1 alpha is E1 beta 1, E2 beta 2, etc. EK beta. Now you apply EI T alpha. EI T alpha equal to apply here EI, apply EI here. This become EI T alpha and this is EI E1, EI E2, etc. EI EI, etc. EI EK. But EI EJ equal to 0. So EI square and EI beta I. EI beta I is again EI beta I is T EI alpha. So EI beta I is T EI alpha. That's equal to T EI alpha. So we get EIT alpha is equal to T EI alpha. As alpha is arbitrary, we get EIT equal to alpha equal to T EI alpha. For every alpha belongs to V, this implies EIT equal to TI. This implies T commutes with each EI. Okay. Hope everything is clear. In the next class, we will discuss another theorem. Okay.